to our incredible Unitalish. Now, let's get into today's narrative. Dr. Clinton Washington's gloved hand stayed perfectly steady as he finished the last suture on his patient's chest. It was another successful heart transplant, his third this month. At 52, his standing at Memorial Hospital had grown almost mythical. Not one transplant failure in 5 years. Outstanding work, as usual, Dr. Washington, remarked Dr. Sarah Chun, his assisting surgeon, as they moved away from the operating table. How you managed that small complication with the vessel. That was textbook perfection. Clinton gave a nod, the skin around his eyes crinkling above his surgical mask. Thanks, Sarah, but I think it's time you started leading these operations. You are more than prepared. I learned from the finest, she answered, then paused. Are you going home early today? It's only 2. Yes, I thought I'd surprise Marion. She has been very absorbed lately with her boutiques. Sarah's face briefly showed something. Concern, maybe, but she hid it quickly. Of course. Enjoy your weekend, Dr. Washington. As Clinton changed out of his scrubs, his phone vibrated with a message from his younger daughter. Hey Dad, can you assist me with my Yale application essay this weekend? Mom's been too occupied. He grinned, typing a reply. Absolutely, sweetheart. How about Saturday morning? The drive home in his Tesla Model S was calm, classical music offering a soft background to his reflections. The tree-lined streets of the historic district greeted him. Grand Victorian homes stood as monuments to old wealth and more recent achievements, like his own. Their house, a renovated 1890s gem, had been Marion's ideal when they purchased it 15 years ago. The garage door slid open quietly, and Clinton saw that Marion's Range Rover was parked inside. Odd. She normally spent Fridays at her flagship boutique downtown. Entering through the kitchen, he heard voices coming from her home office. Lawrence, darling, you know I can't just leave. Yes, I know she's gone. But no, he doesn't suspect a thing. Marion's voice softened, followed by a low, throaty laugh Clinton had never heard from her before. He intentionally made noise hanging up his keys, and the discussion stopped abruptly. Marion came out moments later, her expertly highlighted hair framing a practiced expression. Clinton, what a surprise, you're home early. She slipped her phone into the pocket of her designer jeans. Everything all right at the hospital? Perfect transplant, he answered. Studying her at 48, Marion was still striking. Regular tennis and costly skincare had maintained her looks, but recently there was something forced in her smile, a chill in her green eyes that hadn't been there before. That's wonderful, darling. She kissed his cheek. The gesture felt automatic. I need to go to the store, inventory problems. Don't wait up for dinner. Clinton watched her hurry out, noting she had already switched to her evening clutch, the one she said was only for special client meetings. He had been seeing it more often lately. The weekend came with its usual pattern. Emma, their older daughter, returned from boarding school for sailing team practice. At 17, she was already showing Marion's beauty, but thankfully, Clinton's warmth and honesty. Dad, did you know Mom's friend Mr. Manuela is building a new resort? Emma asked during breakfast Saturday morning. She showed me the plans last week when he came by the house. Clinton's hands paused on his coffee cup. When was this? Oh, Emma suddenly seemed hesitant. Maybe I wasn't supposed to say that. Mom said it was a surprise business opportunity. It's fine, sweetheart. Tell me about your sailing competition. The talk moved on, but Clinton stored this detail away. Lawrence Valenzuela, the name nudged something in his memory. Sunday brunch had been a family tradition for years, though Marion's presence had become irregular recently. Today, however, she was there, though her focus stayed fixed on her phone. Buzz. Excuse me, darling, Marion said, stepping away from the table for the third time. Emma and Sarah exchanged looks. Clinton pretended to concentrate on his Eggs Benedict, but his surgeon's trained observation caught every detail. Marion's flushed cheeks when she returned, the slight tremor in her hand as she reached for her mimosa, how her phone kept lighting up with notifications she tried to conceal. Finally, Marion stood up suddenly. Clinton, I need to talk with you. In your study. The girls watched their parents leave, worry clear on their faces. Clinton's study was a refuge. Dark wood paneling, leather chairs, and shelves of medical books. Marion shut the door behind them. Listen carefully, she said, her voice having an edge he had never heard before. Lawrence lost his wife last month. He's struggling and needs support. I'm going to stay at his Bahamas villa for a month." Clinton leaned back in his chair, face unreadable. "Lawrence Manuela, yes." Marion's chin lifted defiantly. "He's been an important business contact. His development firm is interested in expanding my boutique chain. A month is a long time to be away from the stores. Jessica can handle them." Her expression turned firm. "And Clinton, this stays between us. Emma and Sarah don't need to know about this arrangement. Remember who got them those college interviews? My family's connections run deep in the Ivy League. You wouldn't want anything to risk their futures, would you?" The threat lingered in the air like a toxin. Clinton's expression stayed neutral, a skill honed over years of delivering good and bad news to patients and families. "When do you leave?" "Tomorrow morning, early flight." Marion turned to go, then stopped. "Don't make this hard, Clinton. Everyone will lose if you do." After she left, Clinton sat in his study for a long time, thinking with the precision that had made him one of the nation's top surgeons. He opened his laptop, fingers moving quickly over the keys as he searched. Lawrence Manuela, real estate developer, luxury resorts. Several articles about his wife's death appeared, dated 3 years ago. Clinton's jaw tightened. He went to their home office, where Marion kept their financial papers. Years of managing hospital departments had taught him to follow paper trails. Within an hour, he found irregularities in their joint accounts, systematic transfers to offshore locations going back 18 months. His phone buzzed. "Dr. Chin here, Dr. Washington. I've been debating whether to tell you this. Last week, I saw Mrs. Washington at LeBlanc with a man. They seemed intimate. I wouldn't mention it, but as your colleague and friend, thank you, Sarah. I value your honesty." Clinton's voice remained even. "Would you recognize him again?" Yes. Tall, Mediterranean-looking, very expensive suit. He's been in the society pages." Lawrence Manuela. After hanging up, Clinton stood at his study window, watching the sunset over their manicured garden. Marion had always been ambitious and materialistic. He had accepted that, balancing it with his own commitment to saving lives. But this level of deceit. His phone lit up with a text from Emma. "Dad, can we talk? It's about Mom and Mr. Valenzuela. Come to my study, sweetheart." Emma entered minutes later, wringing her hands anxiously. "Dad, I think I need to tell you something. Last month, when I came home unexpectedly from sailing practice, I saw Mom and Mr. Manuela in her office. They were kissing. Mom made me promise not to tell, said it would ruin everything if I did. She said she'd make sure I didn't get into Yale if I told anyone." Clinton moved to hug his daughter, feeling her tears dampen his shirt. "It's all right, Emma. You did the right thing by telling me. Don't worry about Yale. Your grades and accomplishments will get you in, not manipulation." After Emma left, Clinton sat at his desk and started to plan. Marion had underestimated him. Many people did. They saw the calm, composed surgeon and assumed he lacked toughness. They forgot that his profession demanded not only skill but strategy, precision, and the ability to stay clear-headed in a crisis. He opened his laptop again, this time logging into their home security system. The cameras Marion had insisted on installing after a break-in 3 years ago had recorded hundreds of hours of footage. He began downloading it all, paying special attention to the days when he had been in surgery. "She didn't corrupt you," he murmured to his screen, watching footage of his daughters growing increasingly uneasy around their mother's business partner over the past year. That's her biggest error. In their bedroom, Marion packed for her consolation trip, humming softly. She didn't notice Clinton's systematic documentation of every item she placed in her designer suitcases, the new lingerie with tags still on, the jewelry he had never seen before. Monday morning arrived bright and clear. Marion breezed through breakfast, dropping kisses on her daughters' heads. "Be good for your father, girls. Mom's just helping a friend through a hard time." Clinton watched her leave, noting that she didn't look back. In his pocket, his phone held the numbers for Irene Randolph, forensic accountant extraordinaire, and Hope Mullins, the state's most ruthless divorce attorney. "Time to play, Marion," he whispered to himself. "Let's see how your paradise holds up to reality." Sarah looked up from her breakfast. "Dad, are you okay?" Clinton smiled at his daughter, genuine warmth replacing his cold calculation. "I'm fine, sweetheart, better than fine. Sometimes the truth hurts at first, but it's always better than illusion. Now, how about we look at those college essays?" The morning after Marion's departure, Clinton sat in his home office, phone in hand. The number on his screen belonged to Irene Randolph, his friend from Yale who had chosen forensic accounting over medical school. He hadn't called her in years, but she answered on the second ring. Clinton Washington. This is unexpected. Her voice held the same sharp intelligence he remembered. Please tell me you haven't attacked someone and need help hiding the money trail. Nothing that dramatic, Irene, but I do need your expertise. How's your schedule today? For you? Wide open. Give me an address. 2 hours later, Irene's Tesla parked next to Clinton's in the circular driveway. She stepped out wearing a tailored charcoal suit, tablet in hand, looking every bit the financial bloodhound she had become. Clinton led her to the study, laying out the financial documents he had gathered. Marion's been moving money. I need to know where, how much, and how long it's been happening. Irene's fingers flew across her tablet as she accessed financial databases. Your wife's boutiques are doing well, surprisingly well, actually. Almost too well for retail in this economy. She frowned. Clinton, when was the last time you really examined your joint accounts? Marion handled the finances. I trusted her. Trusted, Irene noted his use of the past tense. Smart man. Look at this pattern. She pulled up a series of transactions, highlighting the sophisticated way Marion had been moving funds through various accounts before they vanished into offshore holdings. She's been planning this for at least 18 months, Irene said. And she's not just moving your joint money. These transfers from the boutiques, she's hiding substantial profits from the IRS. Clinton's expression stayed neutral, but his eyes hardened. Can you trace everything? Already started. But, Clinton, you need a lawyer, not just any lawyer. You need Hope Mullins, the divorce attorney. The best in the state. She's ruthless, efficient, and discreet. Marion's financial maneuvers alone. Hope will have a field day with this. Clinton took out his phone and made another call. Hope's office scheduled him for that afternoon. One more thing, Irene said, still analyzing the data. Who's Lawrence Manuela? His development company shows up in several transactions with Marion's boutiques, but the numbers don't match any legitimate business dealings. I believe he's Marion's grieving friend in the Bahamas. Irene's eyebrows rose. Grieving? His wife died 3 years ago, and from what I'm seeing, he's been making regular payments to a shell company owned by your wife since then. Clinton's jaw tightened. Document everything, Irene. Every transaction, every connection. Already on it. And Clinton, she's going to regret underestimating you. That afternoon, Clinton sat across from Hope Mullins in her corner office overlooking the city. At 60, Hope had the polished look of old money and the shrewd eyes of someone who had earned every cent. Dr. Washington, she said, reviewing the documents Irene had prepared. Your wife has been busy and not very clever about it. I want this handled quietly but thoroughly, Clinton said. I have 2 daughters to protect. Speaking of your daughters, Hope pulled something up on her computer. Your wife's family connections to the Ivy League admissions offices, they're not as strong as she claims. I've already checked. Your daughter's academic achievements and extracurriculars are more than enough to stand on their own. Clinton nodded, unsurprised. Another of Marion's manipulations revealed. Here's what we're going to do, Hope continued. While your wife enjoys her consolation trip, we'll build an ironclad case. First, we'll need to document her social media activity. She's in the Bahamas with her lover. People like that can't resist showing off. She thinks her accounts are private. Hope's smile was predatory. Nothing's truly private. I have excellent cybersecurity experts who can document everything legally. Every poolside cocktail, every intimate dinner will help our case. What about the boutiques? That's our ace. We'll request a routine audit, citing tax season preparation. Nothing suspicious about a successful business owner being thorough with his investments. Clinton's phone buzzed, a text from Sarah. Dad, found some old photos of Mom and Mr. Manuela from last year's boutique opening. They look close. Should I send them to you? My daughters, Clinton explained to Hope. They've noticed things over the years. Perfect. Family testimony is powerful, but we need to protect them from any fallout. Over the next week, Clinton orchestrated his strategy with surgical precision. Each morning, he performed complex heart procedures, his reputation and skills unaffected by his personal situation. Each afternoon, he gathered evidence. The boutique audit uncovered years of creative accounting. Marion's brother, James, had helped her hide profits and create false expenses. When confronted with the evidence, James's loyalty to his sister crumbled. "I told her it was too risky," James admitted to the auditors, but Marian insisted, said she needed a nest egg for her fresh start with Lawrence. Clinton received regular updates from the cybersecurity team Hope had hired. Marian's social media activity told its own story. While she claimed to be supporting a grieving friend, her posts showed a different reality. Intimate dinners, yacht parties, shopping sprees at exclusive boutiques. "Look at this," Hope said during their weekly meeting, displaying photos from Marian's supposedly private Instagram. "She's wearing a new Van Cleef and Arpels necklace purchased with funds from your joint account last month." Clinton recognized the distinctive design. "She told me she needed that money for store renovations." "Every lie, every manipulation strengthens our case," Hope assured him. "The financial fraud alone will destroy her in court. The affair is just bitter icing on a very profitable cake." Emma and Sarah provided their own revelations during a Sunday dinner. Clinton had taken over hosting duties during Marian's absence. "Mom has been meeting with Mr. Valenzuela for years," Emma remarked, moving her pasta across her plate, usually at the boutiques after closing. She claimed it was for business strategy. But Sarah interrupted. "Remember last Christmas when she missed my choir performance due to a supposed store crisis? I spotted her with him at some Meridian while Jessica's family was dining there." Clinton listened, his heart heavy with sorrow for his daughter's lost innocence, yet filled with pride at their resilience. "You don't need to stress about Yale or any college," he reassured them. "Your accomplishments belong solely to you. Nobody can strip those away." The sisters exchanged looks. "We understand, Dad," Emma stated. "We have been exploring other options anyway, schools where we can earn admission on our own merits." As the month advanced, Clinton's legal position strengthened. The boutique auditors discovered additional financial discrepancies. Marian's social media posts offered a daily log of her irresponsible behavior. Confronted with possible criminal charges for his involvement in the tax evasion, her brother consented to give comprehensive testimony regarding her deceptive plans. Irene's forensic examination revealed a condemning narrative. "She has been working toward this for years," she informed Clinton. "The offshore accounts, concealed earnings, fabricated business costs through Valenzuela's firm. She believed she was cunning, yet she left evidence even a novice accounting student could trace." Hope assembled all elements into a solid case. Upon her return, she declared, she will discover her paradise was constructed on unstable ground. In the last week of Marian's vacation, Clinton got a surprise visit from Lawrence Valenzuela's former business associate, Michael Chun. "Rumors suggest you are building a case," Michael mentioned, seated in Clinton's office. "I possess information you may find valuable." He presented records demonstrating how Lawrence and Marian had been coordinating development ventures for years, exploiting Clinton's professional standing and contacts to draw investors. "They were executing a long-term strategy," Michael clarified, "utilizing your credibility to create their own openings. Lawrence has a pattern of this, targeting accomplished, esteemed experts, employing their partners to penetrate their circles. It typically concludes in divorce, with the partner receiving a settlement from concealed transactions." Clinton's face stayed emotionless, but his grip tightened on the desk. "Thank you, Mr. Chun. This is quite useful." As Marian's homecoming neared, Clinton finalized his approach. The proof was sorted, legal forms ready, financial inquiries set to begin. "All is prepared," Hope affirmed in their concluding session. "The instant she arrives, we will present her with divorce filings and audit alerts. Her funds will be suspended during the inquiry. The IRS is highly intrigued by the tax fraud evidence we have revealed." Clinton gazed over the city from Hope's window. "She believed she was creating a paradise," he murmured. "She failed to see she was assembling her own downfall." "What about Valenzuela?" Hope inquired. "He will not emerge unharmed. Let him relish their final days together," Clinton responded. "His development empire is founded on comparable plots with other backers. Once the inquiry commences, his real nature will show." The evening prior to Marian's planned return, Clinton sat with his daughters in their living area, observing them complete college applications to institutions they had selected independently. "Dad," Sarah glanced up from her computer, "are we terrible for assisting with all this against Mom?" Clinton met his daughter's anxious look. "No, sweetheart, we are not ruining your mother. We are merely revealing reality. She made her decisions. Now she must accept the outcomes. Emma shut her laptop. She assumed we were her pawns, that we would fear losing her influence too much to oppose her. She undervalued every one of us. That was her gravest error, Clinton stated. Working in his office later that night, Clinton got a message from Marion. Everything is fantastic here. Lawrence and I have thrilling plans to share when I return. You will see this was all for the best. Clinton did not reply. Instead, he examined the final evidence package Hope had compiled. Each paper, each deal, each image narrated the tale of Marion's disloyalty and control. Tomorrow, her meticulously built paradise would start to collapse. Check, he whispered, shutting the folder. And soon, mate. Marion's heels tapped on the marble entryway of her Victorian residence, designer bags in hand. The month in paradise had left her radiant with self-assurance, tan skin contrasting with a costly white linen outfit. Her smile weakened as she observed the house's silence. Clinton, she called. Emma? Sarah? No answer, only the soft sound of the cooling system. She rolled her luggage toward the main bedroom, stopping at the sight of documents placed exactly on her antique wooden desk. The top sheet displayed the letterhead of Hope Mullins. ESQ Marion's well-kept hands shook as she picked up the divorce filing. Under it were IRS audit notifications, bank records, and printed images of her not-so-private social media updates from the Bahamas. Her phone rang. Lawrence, dear, I just arrived. How's? Her voice broke. They know. Clinton knows everything. There are divorce papers, Lawrence, and IRS audits. Stay calm. Your husband is a surgeon, not an investigator. We prepared for this. Marion snatched her laptop, typing urgently to reach their accounts. No. Every try received the same reply. Account frozen pending investigation. Her phone vibrated again. Her brother, James. Marion, I am sorry. They have it all. The creative bookkeeping, the offshore moves, everything. I had to inform them. You betrayed me, Marion snarled. They possess evidence of tax fraud, years of it. I will not go to jail for you. The front door opened. Clinton walked in, flawless in his surgical attire, expression calm. Welcome home, Marion. His tone held the same steadiness he used with patience. I hope paradise met your expectations. Clinton, this is absurd. I can explain, darling. The opportunity for explanations ended between your offshore accounts and your poolside pictures with Lawrence. He motioned to the papers. All is recorded. Your financial deceit, your affair, your exploitation of our daughters. Marion's laugh had a frantic tone. My family's links are the sole reason they have a chance at the Ivy League. Do you truly wish to ruin their futures over a trivial affair? An interesting view, Clinton replied, sitting at his desk. Emma and Sarah's academic histories, test results, and activities are outstanding. Your alleged connections, Hope Mullins verified, do not exist. Marion's poise shattered. You had no authority to look into me. You surrendered that right when you began stealing from our accounts. Lawrence guaranteed you a share of the development ventures, the ones you used my reputation to advertise. Her silence verified everything. The following weeks unfolded like a carefully orchestrated procedure. Marion and Lawrence tried damage limitation, menacing to ruin Clinton's medical career using her family's sway. Dr. Richards, the hospital board chair, summoned Clinton to his office. We have received some troubling letters regarding your personal behavior. Clinton set a folder on the chairman's desk. My full personal and professional records, including how my wife and her partner tried to use my reputation for fraudulent investments. Dr. Richards scanned the documents, nodding slowly. Clinton, you have saved numerous lives here. Your honesty is unquestionable. Regard this issue resolved. Marion's carefully built world kept disintegrating. The IRS inquiry compelled her to sell her boutiques to cover owed taxes. Her social groups, detecting trouble, rapidly distanced themselves. Lawrence proved as unreliable as predicted. Clinton received a call from his attorney. Dr. Washington, Mr. Valenzuela wants to separate himself from this scenario. He is prepared to supply proof of Mrs. Washington's financial wrongdoing in return for certain concessions. Intriguing, Clinton answered. Inform Mr. Valenzuela that his development empire's similar plots with other investors are already documented. He should concentrate on his own legal issues. Emma and Sarah opted to remain with their father, their mother's manipulation now evident. She used to threaten us. Emma disclosed during a family meal. She said if we grew too attached to you, she would ensure we never entered good schools, that her family would blacklist us. Sarah agreed. Recall when I wished to quit tennis for debate club? She claimed upholding her country club appearance mattered more than my silly hobbies. Clinton held their hands. You are free now. Pick the schools and pursuits you desire. Your successes are yours alone. The divorce process moved quickly. Marion's financial fraud, paired with the prenuptial agreement Clinton's father had demanded, left her only what she had earned lawfully, which, after the IRS claimed their portion, was nearly zero. 1 year later, Clinton sat in his office reading a letter postmarked from a small town where Marion had relocated with her sister. My dearest Clinton, it started. I now see how Lawrence manipulated me. He pledged me everything. A chain of high-end boutiques, a resort empire, a life of perpetual summer. I was blinded, but I have transformed. The girls require their mother. You need your wife. We can begin anew. Clinton fed the letter into his shredder without completing it. On his monitor, security footage from their entrance camera played silently, chronicling years of business meetings that revealed the true story. That night, he assisted Emma in packing for college. She had secured a full merit scholarship to Stanford. Dad, she paused, holding a family photo from better times. Do you ever regret how things concluded with Mom? No, Clinton said simply. I regret that she selected deceit over truth, but reality always surfaces. Sometimes it pains, but it is always superior to existing in a falsehood. Sarah appeared in the doorway. Mom emailed me again, stating she has discovered herself in her new life. And what did you do? Clinton inquired. Marked it as spam, Sarah shrugged. I have debate team finals to concentrate on. Clinton grinned, proud of his daughter's fortitude. The Victorian home felt altered now, purer in a way, as if Marion's falsehoods had been a faint toxin finally purged from the atmosphere. That evening, he conducted another successful heart transplant, his reputation more robust than ever, his patients and colleagues respecting not only his surgical expertise, but his composure under strain. Driving home past Marion's former boutiques, now a flourishing local enterprise under new management, Clinton contemplated the past year. Marion's paradise had been an illusion founded on manipulation and avarice. His truth, though more difficult, was stable footing. The entrance security camera clicked as he entered his home, its reliable recording a reminder that occasionally the finest revenge was simply ensuring falsehoods could not endure in the daylight. Inside, Emma and Sarah's laughter resonated from the kitchen. They were baking cookies for Sarah's debate team festivity, their futures now restricted only by their own aspirations and hard work. Clinton hung his coat in the closet that once held Marion's designer items. Paradise lost, he whispered. Truth found. 5 years later, Clinton Washington sat in his updated office scanning the morning news on his tablet. A minor headline captured his attention. Resort developer Lawrence Valenzuela faces federal indictment. The article described Lawrence's decline, his habit of exploiting affluent partners for investment scams finally overtaking him. The SEC probe, partly activated by Clinton's evidence from years prior, had exposed a network of frauds spanning decades. Lawrence confronted 2 decades in federal prison. Clinton's phone buzzed, a text from Emma. Dad, saw the news about Lawrence. Karma is real, right? He smiled, recalling how far they had progressed. Emma, now 22, was completing her medical degree at Stanford, following his path, but forging her own in neurosurgery. Sarah, 20, studied law at Columbia, her debate talents serving her excellently in mock trials. That evening, during their weekly video chat, Sarah shared her own update. Remember Mom's brother James? He just finished his prison term, 3 years for tax fraud. How is he managing? Clinton asked. Working as a bookkeeper for a small construction firm. Says he has learned his lesson about creative accounting. 10 years later, Clinton's retirement celebration from surgery-packed Memorial Hospital's conference room. At 62, he had performed his final transplant, a career marked by a record-breaking 98% success rate. Dr. Sarah Chun, now head of surgery herself, offered a toast. Dr. Washington not only saved hearts, he demonstrated that integrity and excellence are inseparable. After the event, Emma drew him aside. Dad, I heard about Mom through Aunt Lisa. Marion's effort to rebuild had failed terribly. After moving in with her sister, she attempted launching a small boutique in their town, but her old tendencies reappeared. She had stolen from her sister's savings, asserting she required it for business investments. Lisa expelled her. Emma went on. She is employed as a sales clerk at a Nevada department store. Still informs everyone she previously owned a fashion empire. Clinton nodded, unsurprised. Some individuals never learn. The years had changed their Victorian residence. Clinton had donated Marion's leftover belongings to charity, refurbishing with cozy, contemporary elements that mirrored his daughter's preferences. The security cameras stayed a quiet reminder that truth requires protection. 15 years later, Sarah's wedding filled their backyard with happiness. Her spouse, Catherine, a fellow lawyer, had aided her in prosecuting white-collar crimes. They had connected over tales of financial fraud cases. During the reception, Clinton overheard a notable discussion. Lawrence Valenzuela had died in prison, alone and destitute. His children from his first marriage had declined to claim his body, repulsed by the scope of his schemes exposed during the investigation. Emma, now a famous neurosurgeon, attended with her husband, James, a pediatrician she met during residency. Their 3-year-old daughter played near the fountain, her laughter echoing where Marion's threats once lingered. "I guess," someone mentioned, Marion was seen recently. She had aged poorly, resentful, and still faulting others for her collapse. She held retail positions, relocating from city to city, leaving a path of minor cons and severed ties. "She tried contacting me last month," Emma said softly. "Wanted funds for a business chance. Claimed she merited another opportunity because she is my mother." "What did you do?" Sarah asked. "Sent her a therapist's number, then blocked her." 20 years later, at 72, Clinton concentrated on guiding young surgeons and delighting in his grandchildren. Emma had 2 daughters and a son. Sarah and Catherine had adopted twins. The medical wing named for him at Memorial Hospital stood as proof of his legacy. The Clinton-Washington Fellowship funded scholarships for disadvantaged medical students, highlighting both ability and ethics. A letter arrived from Marion's sister, Lisa. Marion had died alone in a Las Vegas hospital, still believing the world had mistreated her. She had never acknowledged her part in her own ruin, never ceased trying to manipulate others. To the end, the obituary was brief. Marion Washington, 70, former boutique owner, passed away. No services planned. Clinton contributed an amount equal to her funeral expenses to a women's shelter, then turned her attention to assisting Emma's eldest daughter with applications for medical school. A quarter-century later, the Washington family assembled to celebrate Clinton's 77th birthday. His grandchildren, from teens to little ones, brought the Victorian house the vibrant happiness it had always been meant to hold. Emma had risen to become chief of neurosurgery at Stanford Medical Center. Sarah achieved partnership at her law firm, which specialized in defending whistleblowers that reveal financial fraud. Clinton's memoir, Healing Hearts, A Surgeon's Journey Through Medicine and Truth, became mandatory reading in medical schools. Its chapter on ethics and personal integrity connected with audiences well outside the healthcare field. Security cameras were taken down during renovations, though Clinton held on to one, the front door camera that had recorded Marion's deceptions. He gave it to a museum of technological history as a testament that truth inevitably comes to light. 3 decades later, at 82, Clinton relocated to an upscale senior living community near Emma's home in California. His intellect stayed just as keen, though his hands could no longer conduct surgery. He volunteered at a clinic offering medical care to survivors of domestic abuse, understanding how manipulation and financial control trap individuals in harmful relationships. The Washington Family Foundation, created with his retirement savings, funded both medical research and initiatives helping people recover from financial fraud. Sarah's legal practice took on pro bono cases through the foundation. In his final years, Clinton Washington died peacefully at 87, surrounded by family. His legacy continued not only through the thousands of lives he had saved in surgery, but also through the standards he set. The Clinton Washington Medical Ethics Chair at Stanford, the Washington Integrity in Medicine Award, scholarship programs at several universities, legal aid funds for fraud victims, and most significantly, 2 daughters and 7 grandchildren who upheld his values. His obituary occupied 2 full pages in medical journals and newspapers. The difference from Marion's isolated passing could not have been more pronounced. While organizing his documents, Emma and Sarah discovered his last journal entry. Truth isn't always gentle, but it's always right. Marion chose deception and found destruction. I chose truth and found peace. The heart I spent my life protecting, both literally and figuratively, was my own and those of my children. Some would say revenge is best served cold. I say justice is best served with unwavering adherence to truth. Marion and Lawrence built a paradise on lies. I built a legacy on truth. The distinction lies not in immediate gratification, but in the foundation that remains once time strips away all pretense. Afterward, the Washington family's experience became a case study in ethics and law school curricula, not for its revenge element, but for how systematic record-keeping and steadfast integrity can defeat manipulation and fraud. Marion's boutique buildings were eventually transformed into a thriving chain of women's business centers, assisting entrepreneurs in launching legitimate enterprises with clear accounting. Lawrence Valenzuela's development empire was broken up. His properties were sold to reimburse his victims, and his name grew synonymous with real estate investment fraud. Clinton's daughters carried his principles forward. Emma founded medical clinics in underserved regions. Sarah's firm focused on shielding families from financial fraud. Their children continued his legacy of integrity in their own professions. The Victorian home was designated a historical landmark. Its narrative was preserved as an illustration of how truth, though occasionally painful, offers the only basis for enduring happiness. Clinton's great-grandchildren grew up hearing not a tale of revenge, but of integrity's victory over deceit. The security camera footage stayed in the museum, a technological artifact that helped unravel a web of falsehoods and liberated a family. The Washington name came to represent not scandal, but physical healing through Emma's medical contributions, justice through Sarah's legal work, and truth through Clinton's enduring influence. Marion and Lawrence's destinies served as a warning. A paradise constructed on lies becomes a prison, while truth, though more difficult to uphold, constructs a legacy that outlasts its creator. Clinton's ultimate triumph was not in ruining Marion's false paradise, but in erecting something genuine and lasting in its place. A dynasty of healing, truth, and unwavering integrity that would inspire generations to follow.